Hello. Some advocates of homosexual marriage try to draw parallels between interracial marriage, but those are illegitimate, and here's why. And one thing that forced me to think about this was that the Supreme Court recently came out with the Obergell ruling. When I was doing some last-minute research on the internet for this video, I saw a article written by a professor somewhere that claimed that the opposition to interracial marriage was religious. Well, he was wrong about that. At least if you're defining religious as something that the Bible says. Somebody claiming to be a Bible believer and then saying something does not mean the Bible said it, does not mean it's accurate to call it because of their religion they were, for or against something. The Bible has no prohibitions on interracial marriage. Zero. And but the Bible definitely lets us know that homosexual activities, in other words, having homosexual sex, is really? I already tried to make this video once, and somebody called in to. A telemarketer that wouldn't say a word. Okay, so homosexual wedding, homosexual, interracial. Broke my train of thought. Let's see, which points did I get to? No, not religious because it's not in the Bible. Yes. Alright. But, the most important difference between interracial marriage pre-Love versus Virginia and homosexual marriage is that interracial marriage was illegal. Anyone who says the Supreme Court in Obergell legalized homosexual marriage is wrong. They're either stupid or lying. Because illegal, if something's illegal, you are punished for doing it. The government takes action against you. There's a fine or a prison/jail sentence. Or property being taken away, which is kind of like a fine, still something being taken from you as punishment. But in America, especially after the Ferguson ruling legalized homosexual contact, homosexual sex, especially after the Ferguson ruling, nobody was getting fined in America for claiming to have a homosexual marriage, for claiming to have a marriage between the same sex. Nobody was being put in jail for calling somebody wife and wife, or husband to husband, or having a ceremony. There was nothing of the sort, so it wasn't illegal. But in the Love versus Virginia case, Virginia at first convicted and sentenced one of the two parts of that case, the husband or the wife, to a year in jail. That is punishment. That's illegal. That's the government doing something to them because of it. And they just found a compromise. Leave the state and they didn't have to go to jail. they'll leave the state instead of going to jail. That's still the government doing something against them. That's not being left alone. That's the important difference. Now, one of the cases in California, there were the best domestic partnerships laws and registrations, which is marriage in everything but name. That is encouraging them to get together when you give them tax benefits and all the other things that come along with civil partnership law. So in California, they were being encouraged to engage in homosexual activity and form homosexual relationships, night and day. Yeah. When it comes to the government and any issue, the government can promote something, prohibit it, or permit it. Those are the only three options. In the case of the Loving versus Virginia, Virginia was prohibiting, was prohibiting interracial marriage. In the case of all the more recent homosexual wedding claims and lawsuits and court cases, the different states were permitting it to happen, just not promoting it. One of the big difference too between the homosexual marriage and interracial marriage is homosexual marriage has not been encouraged until recently by any major civilization. Throughout all of civilization, all 6,000 years, it's been man-woman marriage, no homosexual marriage. Even in societies where there was homosexual activity, I've never heard of any evidence that they were giving out marriage licenses to homosexual couples. Whereas the interracial marriage bans, when they were in place, were not worldwide, not throughout all of civilization and human history. Were in limited places. At the time of the Love versus Virginia, it was just the southern states in America. The rest of America, you could do it. I mean, that's why the couple in the Love case, the Loves, were able to make a compromise with Virginia to live somewhere else, because somewhere else it was legal. And all over the rest of the world at that time, most or all of the rest of the world, interracial marriage was illegal. It was legal. People could do it. The southern states banning it was an aberration. And the last point I want to make, interracial marriage is stupid. Interracial marriage bans are stupid because we are all the same race. We're all direct descendants of Adam and Eve. We're all literally extremely distant cousins, those that aren't close cousins. But it's stupid to talk about races as if they're a dramatically different thing when two people of completely different skin colors and nose shapes are biologically, for reproductive purposes, compatible. Everyone's got, with millions of people on the earth, just randomly grabbing two people doesn't mean they're going to be emotionally compatible or have the same beliefs or things. But biologically speaking, a man so dark or a woman so dark that you don't see them with the lights off till they smile, and a white person of the opposite sex so white that they burn and peel and are back to their normal skin color and cannot tan, they can have sex and create children. when I was double checking my facts on this case and looking up the Wikipedia article, which is where I got most of my double checked most of my stuff, because that was about the only article about the Love versus Virginia case that came up when I searched, or at least if I didn't go to the 100th page of the search results. I stopped looking at about page 4. Actually, not 100. Sorry about the hyperbole there. I read about another case in a Wikipedia article that got my blood boiling. I was reading on a break at work, and somebody said, "You don't look really good." Well, yeah, I was reading some very disturbing things about very stupid and evil laws. And in 1939, there was an interracial marriage that was annulled by the court because the woman in the marriage, this was in California, the woman in the marriage was 1/8 black. That's just ridiculous in my mind to be nitpicking 1/8 black. Well, race isn't just a set apart thing where you are one race or you're not one race. If somebody could be 1/8 of something. One difference between the interracial marriage bans and the pre-Obergell non-encouragement, there was not a homosexual marriage ban, but non-encouragement and endorsement of homosexual marriage. One other difference is people can be 1/8, 1/16 of this race or their ancestry, 1/8, 1/16, 1/4, a fraction. There is nobody on the earth who is 1/8 man or 1/8 woman. You are a man or you're a woman. You got the XX chromosome or the XY, and that's what makes you, there we go, that's what makes you a man or a woman, not if you call yourself one thing or the other, not if you beat up people for not calling you what you want to be called. Alright, thank you for your time. Have a good day.